very warm hello to all. I am going to discuss the topic New Directions Unit 4 Gender Roles, Core Reading 3 Sex, Size, and Conversation Why Men and Women Can't Communicate by Deborah Tannen. It has been prescribed in the GNDU syllabus of BA Semester 4 Elective English. About the reading, it explores the differences in communication styles between men and women as to how these impact relationships, how men and women communicate with each other. They communicate in a very different way, and because of these differences, their relationships are affected. It draws on anthropological and psychological research to explain how girls and boys develop distinct approaches to language use while growing up. Because both boys and girls, they have been using language in a very different way right from their childhood. These differences tend to prolong even in their adulthood, and this reading, it is based on the anthropological and psychological research which explains the reasons how both men and girls and boys use language in a different way. These communication challenges stem from childhood socialization, where girls tend to engage in intimate conversations while boys participate in competitive group activities, emphasizing hierarchy and independence. Well, in the previous reading, Boys Will Be Boys, the reading wanted to convey the idea it is like having a unidimensional perspective in a multidimensional scene. We paid a lot of attention to the needs of girls, and there was a need to pay equal attention to boys also. The needs of both boys and girls are different, and because of these differences, there exists communication gap. Because these communication challenges, they come because just because of socialization. Boys are socialized in a very different way than that of girls. Girls engage in intimate conversations, boys participate in competitive group activities. They like to emphasize hierarchy. They want to be one point up than the other gender, and they like to negotiate for independence. Key points: childhood socialization, how boys and girls socialize in society at a very tender age, that is also very different. Girls engage in intimate conversations in small groups. When they involve girls involve in conversations among their friends or among small groups, for them it is a way of establishing connection. It is a negotiation of intimacy. Boys, on the other hand, they don't like to be part of small groups. They, on the other hand, exhibit competitiveness. So by becoming competitive, they it is their way of showing their independence. Asking for directions. The reading begins with an example by the writer where there is a couple traveling in a car, and they are looking for some place which they are unable to find, and they are circling for quite a long time on the same place. Men are reluctant to ask for directions for the fear of admitting ignorance and compromising independence. Women see it as simple and pleasant way to connect with others. The woman feels that they could, if they are unable to find direction of the place, they could obviously ask for one. Men, on the other hand, believe that asking means they this would it would allow the other person to think that men are genuinely ignorant and they are compromising on their independence. Even the daily communication styles of men and women are different. Women share detailed daily experiences to strengthen emotional concerns. Men, on the other hand, feel discussing the entire daily routine is something which is unnecessary or irrelevant. Troubles talk. Through troubles talk, women seek emotional support through discussions, while men offering solutions leads to frustration and misunderstanding. Because the needs of both men and women are different. Because of those gender differences, it leads to frustration and misunderstanding. This reverberates the dictum which was laid by the book of John Gray, that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Because it's as if the two men and women, they live on different planets. And that is why it results in the differences between the two. When women are they wish to have a trouble talk, they want emotional support. from their husband or their partner, and which they can only establish through discussion. Men, on the other hand, offer solution, and that leads to frustration and misunderstanding. Storytelling and support. There are different expectations between men and women regarding storytelling and support. Women expect empathy and exploration. Men may prefer offering solution, and it's not always the solution that women want to hear. Sometimes they only want somebody to empathize with them. Persistence of differences into adulthood. These communication differences persist into adulthood and can impact cross gender conversations. The differences which were socialized during childhood, they continue, they persist even during adulthood. Tannen advocates for understanding and respecting these differences, viewing them as cross cultural and making small adjustments to enhance communication. The conclusion of the reading wants to, through the reading, the writer wants to convey that we need to understand the gender differences and view them as cross cultural, just the same way when we tend to assimilate a person of another culture tend to assimilate into another culture by assimilation, by acceptance, realizing the differences between the cultures. The same could be applicable to the gender differences also, and as a result we can make small adjustments to enhance communication. Recognizing that these patterns persist into adulthood and appreciating normalcy of such differences can lift the burden of blame and disappointment in relationships. When we learn to accept those differences, when we tend to view those differences as absolutely normal, can we lift each other of the burden of disappointment and blame instead of indulging in the blame game. The only way to work relationships is by accepting the differences. Encourages individuals to be aware of their partner's communication style, fostering a willingness to make adjustments that can lead to improved mutual understanding and stronger relationship. The reading encourages us that we need to be aware of the communication style of our partner so that we can make small adjustments that can improve our mutual understanding and build and reinforce a strong relationship. Thank you.